There's this question that keeps coming back to me. Late at night, in quiet moments, when everything else falls away, who am I? Really, who am I? Not the easy answers, not the name on my documents or the face in the mirror, but something deeper, something that's been nagging at me for as long as I can remember. And here's the thing. I don't think I'm alone in this. I think we're all walking around with this question buried somewhere inside us. Most of us just get too busy to notice it, too distracted by the noise of life to hear that quiet voice asking, but who is actually living this life? So let me take you on this journey with me, this quest I've been on, because maybe, just maybe, we'll discover something together. Let's start with the obvious place, my body. For most of my life, I assumed I was my body. I mean, that's what we're taught, right? You point to yourself, you point to your body. Simple. But then I started really thinking about it. This body, it's constantly changing. The cells that made up me 10 years ago, most of them are gone now, replaced. The body I had as a child barely resembles the one I have now. So if the body keeps changing, but I still feel like the same me looking out through these eyes, then what am I really? Ramana Maharshi, this Indian sage, had a profound awakening when he was just 16. He laid down and asked himself, what if this body dies right now? What happens to me? And in that moment, he realized something extraordinary. The body could die, but the awareness observing the body, that couldn't die. That was eternal. Think about it. Right now, you're aware of your body. You can feel it, observe it, sense it. But if you can observe your body, then you must be something separate from it. The observer and the observed can't be the same thing. You are not your body. You're the consciousness that inhabits this body, the awareness that looks through these eyes. And that changes everything. Okay, so if I'm not the body, then maybe I'm the mind. The thoughts, the personality, the inner voice that never shuts up. But here's where it gets really interesting. Just like the body, I can observe my mind. I can watch my thoughts. I can notice when I'm thinking. There's a part of me that stands back and goes, wow, that's an anxious thought, or that's a happy thought. If I can watch my thoughts, then I can't be my thoughts. The watcher and the watched are two different things. The mind is like this constant stream of commentary. It's always chattering, judging, planning, worrying, remembering. And for most of my life, I completely identified with it. I thought that voice in my head was me. But then I discovered something. In between thoughts, there's silence. There are gaps, moments where the mind goes quiet. And in those moments, I'm still here, still aware, still existing. So who is the one who remains when thoughts disappear? The ancient Vedantic tradition calls this the witness consciousness, the Sakshi. It's the awareness that watches thoughts come and go, emotions rise and fall, but itself never moves, never changes. Think about your dreams. Every night, you create entire worlds in your mind. People, places, drama, emotions. And there's a dream character that you identify as yourself. But when you wake up, you realize that dream character wasn't really you. It was just an appearance in consciousness. What if this waking life is similar? What if the person you think you are with all your thoughts and beliefs and stories? What if that's also just an appearance? A character being played by consciousness itself? So I started peeling back the layers, like an onion. Each layer I removed, I asked, is this me? Am I my emotions? No, because I can observe them. I can feel sad, but there's something in me that knows I am feeling sad. The knower and the emotion are not the same. Am I my memories? No, because memories come and go. They fade, they change. Sometimes they're completely wrong. But the awareness that recalls memories, that's constant. Am I my beliefs, my opinions, my personality? No, because all of these have changed throughout my life. The me at 20 had completely different beliefs than the me now. But something has remained unchanged through all those transformations. What is that something? The philosopher Descartes said, I think, therefore I am. But I think he got it backwards. It's more like, I am, therefore thoughts appear. Being comes first. Consciousness comes first. Everything else is secondary. This leads me to the bigger question, the one that keeps me up at night. Why am I here? Why this timeline? This particular body, this particular life, this particular moment in human history? And here's what I've realized. The question itself comes from the assumption that I'm a separate individual who was placed here for some reason. Like I'm a character dropped into a video game, trying to figure out the objective. But what if that's not how it works? What if consciousness is like an infinite ocean, and each of us is like a wave on that ocean? The wave thinks it's separate. It has a beginning when it rises, and an end when it crashes. It looks different from other waves. It has its own journey. But it's all water. It's all ocean. The wave was never separate from the ocean. It's just the ocean expressing itself in a particular form for a moment. Maybe that's what we are. Consciousness expressing itself as individual experiences. Not because it has to, but because it can. Because experiencing is what consciousness does. The Hindus call it Lila, the divine play. God playing hide and seek with himself. Consciousness pretending to be separate, to be limited, just for the joy of discovery. For the thrill of eventually remembering what it truly is. Ramana Maharshi taught the simplest practice. Whenever a thought arises, ask, to whom does this thought occur? The answer comes, to me. Then ask, who am I? And this is where it gets beautiful. Because when you really sit with that question, when you really search for the I that everything is happening to, you can't find it. Try it right now. Where are you? Where is this I that you've been assuming exists your whole life? You can't point to your body because you can observe your body. You can't point to your thoughts because you can observe your thoughts. You can't point to any quality or characteristic because all of those are objects being observed. So where is the observer? Where is the I? And in that searching, something remarkable happens. The I that you're looking for, it dissolves. It vanishes. Because it was never a thing to begin with. It was just a thought, just a concept, just a story you told yourself. What remains is pure awareness, pure consciousness. No subject, no object. Just being, just presence, just this. So, after all this seeking, after all this questioning, here's what I've found. I am not a thing. I'm not an object. I'm not even a person in the way I thought I was. I am the awareness in which everything appears. I am consciousness itself, temporarily forgetting what it is, playing at being human. This body is like a spacesuit, a temporary vehicle for consciousness to experience this dimension, this reality, this slice of existence. This mind is like a radio, tuned to a particular frequency, picking up certain thoughts, certain patterns, certain stories. But I'm not the radio. I'm not even the music. I'm the space in which the music plays. And here's the crazy part. If I am consciousness, and consciousness is all there is, then I'm not separate from anything. I'm not separate from you. I'm not separate from the trees, the stars, the entire universe. It's all one consciousness, appearing as many. One being, experiencing itself from infinite perspectives. The mystics throughout history, across all traditions, they all point to the same truth. Whether they call it God, Brahman, the Tao, Buddha nature, or simply awareness, they're all describing the same reality. We are not in the universe. The universe is in us. We are the universe, knowing itself. Now, does this mean I walk around floating on clouds, completely detached from life? No. Life still happens. The body still needs food. The mind still thinks. Emotions still flow. But there's a difference, a subtle shift in perspective. Before, I was a person having experiences. Now I'm consciousness experiencing being a person. And that changes everything. Fear doesn't grip me the same way, because I know that what I truly am can't be harmed. The body might suffer, the mind might struggle, but the awareness that I am, that's untouchable. Desires don't drive me the same way, because I'm no longer trying to complete myself. I'm already whole, already complete, already everything I was searching for. Relationships become richer because I see myself in everyone. When I look into your eyes, I'm literally looking at myself looking back at me through different eyes. So who am I? I am the question asking itself. I am the seeker and the sought. I am the consciousness that pretends to be separate just so it can experience the joy of reunion. Why am I here in this timeline? Because consciousness chose to experience life through these eyes, in this moment, in this particular arrangement of atoms and light. And the beautiful thing? So did you. You are the same consciousness, wearing a different costume, asking the same questions, on the same journey home. We're all just consciousness, playing different roles in its own grand drama. And when we finally remember what we are, when the illusion of separation finally drops, we realize we were never lost. We were always home. We are home. Because home is not a place. Home is what we are. I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not the story. I am the eternal witness, the unchanging awareness, the infinite consciousness that was never born and can never die. I am. Simply, purely, eternally. I am. And so are you. In the silence that follows these words, perhaps you'll hear your own answer to the question. Not in thoughts, not in concepts, but in the direct knowing of your own being. In the simple, undeniable presence of awareness itself. That presence is you. That awareness is what you've always been. That consciousness is what you'll always be. Welcome home.